Do you think physical maps have value? Well, this is an example of a map I have. I have charts, I have maps. Now, this particular map, what value does it really have? Now, I know that there's a lot of maps that you can get online, and that's great. But sometimes it's just nice to have it in your hands. And I mention this because, in a way, for maybe some of you, you're so used to having it digitally, you don't know the fun, the excitement of having it in your hands and then playing with it. And what do I mean by playing with it? Well, this particular map that I have, I got it from an archival collector, and he gave me permission. Yes, I had to pay for it. And so it is a gold map. That is what you're looking at right here. This is a historical map that shows where, in the past, prospectors actually found gold, AU, in the periodic table. So I laminated it, still have it, and I just want to showcase it, special effects there, and say that it's always good to consider that some things, when you actually bring it to a physical form, it allows you to explore in a different way than only digital. I'm going to follow this up with another thought process, is that I remember my mom. I've been caregiving for her for a number of years now as a primary caregiver, and so it's been an ongoing education, and I found it fascinating in her case. You know, there's many photos she's taken, and she had like the old style photos where, you know, you actually had the film developed, and then yes, she got, you know, digital photos and so forth. And I found it fascinating that many of the photos that actually got printed, those were the ones that were truly seen and enjoyed. Whereas the vast majority, it was amazing, the vast majority of, let's say, her trip photos that she did with digital devices actually never really saw the light of day. They actually didn't seem to come out and be enjoyed as often. Yet the ones that could be taken out, put into some sort of frame, and in the place that she's traveling or held, they stuck. So it was just somewhat interesting that at times we can get so wrapped up in having everything digital that we forget where there can be value in actually framing or having something tangible that you can work with. And I must admit that when I do have opportunities to do exploration, although from a detail perspective, there's definitely great benefits in getting digital maps and digital systems for that, for navigating. There is something about planning at times with a physical map, especially when you turn it into a treasure map, your personal version of a treasure map. And so I thought I'd just bring that up because I think there's a lot of maps out there that people look at, or they know that maybe a family member has, and just possibly there's some really good stories out there that are being missed because people just aren't realizing that there could be notes on those maps. There's a reason behind why a person actually has a map. And so whenever I come across another explorer or somebody else who has an interest in travel, and they've actually got a map or a chart, you know what? it's really fun for us, or I usually find it entertaining, and typically people do enjoy sharing. You know, pulling out that chart or that map and then saying like where you went, or having that line that's been traced out, or that destination, or that coordinates, or those set of coordinates. It's just, there's something about it. It's a type of fascination you have with that location and how you got there. By the way, I'm sure it's being done. I'm going to be interested in a CAD, computer-aided design 3D model of the Artemis II voyage with the Orion spacecraft from a 3D perspective of from where it was launched, and then the route, then to the moon and back, and to just see that and see how that trip actually met each waypoint, how that trip actually looks when you look at it from the moon and the earth, and be able to see both from maybe the perspective of being one of those astronauts. Okay, so this is what the flyby would look like. And I was thinking this could be expanded upon as a project, just to be considering all the Apollo shots to the moon. And maybe every, I mean, you can go really deep on this, but you can think of every mission where human beings have actually traveled into space, into orbit, to the point where they can be called an astronaut. Where have all these trips gone? And could they be mapped and then overlapped and see like, well, where has everybody gone? Because it's a little different, isn't it? It's you really need a 3D perspective. You really need something where you can look at it with an X, Y, and Z component or coordinates, because without that, you're sort of maybe thinking of it just from a two-dimensional perspective, and that's really not as, how can I say, deep or interesting as a 3D model. So it was just a thought process, but I thought I'd share that with you, and I hope you enjoy your day. I hope that you have some levels of success. And so this is Jason Expeditions. Have a great time.